Okay. Hope springs eternal. Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. Gonna try this one more time. Sorry about that. I am definitely new to this. I think I've realized what I was doing wrong. My apologies. I am doing well. Can you guys hear the game audio, the music? Really hoping that you can. Cool. So the music for this, oh, you're not, well, okay, right now you're not going to hear the music. You guys hearing gunfire? Can you hear me now? All right. And you can hear gunfire? All right, finally. Sorry about that. Totally new to this program. I'm using StreamYard, which is a good program, but user error is what it is. So I can turn up the audio a bit. Yeah, there we go. And hopefully you'll be able to hear more. So welcome to Reaper Actual. Hopefully this stream can last a bit longer. Reaper Actual is an open world persistent shooter. Now, what that means is that when you log into this game, there is no start of round, stop of round. This is a persistent game, better known as an MMO. And our game is, if Escape from Tarkov or Call of Duty DMZ had a baby, and we're set in an open world, and the baby was Rainbow Six Siege, that would be Reaper Actual. So our game is all about setting you into this beautiful world of Merova. Now, Merova is this fictional island set in the Mediterranean. And in fact, here is the map as it currently sits, because we are not showing the southern island, which is will be part of our game. It's just we don't have it in right now in this version, so we're not showing it yet. We're not prepared to show it. On this island, there's this massive city over here called Ilaria. Over here is the Cam Airport. Up here, there's a big town. A bunch of stuff that's not even on the map yet, so it's pretty cool. But first things first, when you come into the world of Merova, you are sitting in your base. Now, your base is a real location in the game. It's got an exterior, it's got an interior. And this is your base. So over here is a crafting area, and a lot of gunsmithing kind of stuff can be done here. Each base is unique in that the base type determines the sort of things you can do in it. So for example, I'm in a warehouse base, which is a decent size base, but it has advantages and disadvantages. It actually has more entrances, so it can actually be breached in multiple ways. In our game, your base is your safe house, your where you come back to when you die. You lose all your stuff. It's on your corpse when you die. So if other people kill you, they can grab your stuff. And we have extraction elements to our game. So, for example, we have a vault, and you've seen vaults in other extraction shooters. Each base has its own vault and vault size. And it just so happens that I've been losing a lot on this particular server, so I don't have anything in my vault, but it is persistent. If you extract with stuff and you don't die, like an idiot like me, you actually do end up with cool stuff that you can then turn around and sell on the trader, or do other sorts of things like that. We're very traditional on the extraction side on that thing, on that regard. What is unique though is that we have operators that are called Reapers. This version is a little bit it's from a little while ago, so we haven't changed the name in here yet. Your Reaper is who you are currently in the world. So we have Hades. This is just what this build happened to have. Hades, Viper, one of my favorite here because I'm a fond of tattoos, is Zero here. And yeah, the lighting's a little harsh on him, but you get the idea. You know, we put a lot of effort into these beautiful characters, and we're super excited about getting the, you know, giving players a variety. Now, each Reaper comes with a unique set of, well, not unique because some share gear, but it comes with their own loadout, a default loadout. Unlike hardcore extraction games, when you die, you lose your stuff, but we don't want to punish you all the way back down to zero. We don't think that's going to be fun. Now, Reapers have their own abilities. They have their own perks, which are things like, hey, this character can craft faster or slower. And their abilities are from a large pool of abilities that we have. So we're trying to make each Reaper as unique as possible. But the cool thing about your Reapers is that whichever ones you own, whoever you're playing with is you know who you are moving around in first person in our game. And the other Reapers, though, you're going to be able to designate them to guard your base. Now, let's talk about base raiding in our game. So base raiding is a really cool feature that's very unique to Reaper Actual. So we have a heat system similar to GTA. If you're out doing missions and you cap a lot of players and NPCs and you don't manage your heat and let it dissipate over time, you come back to your base and other people can follow you in. And remember when I said there are advantages and disadvantages to bases? Well, here's an example of a disadvantage. This warehouse base happens to have a garage in it, and this particular one also has a helipad, but garage, we do have vehicles, land, sea, and air vehicles in the game, and we are super, super focused on making the world of Merova a real place, very much like an MMO. The team is about 125 people right now, with a large number of team members that have made many MMOs. I've worked on 12 in my career, and many of my teammates have worked on a ton. This is a labor of love for us. We are making a game that we want to play, which is my favorite kind of game to make. It is why I wanted to build this company up with my fellow teammates. A lot of team members from PlanetSide too. I was showing those off to a couple months ago with a quick screenshot. We have or a quick photograph that I took. We are very experienced in MMOs, but we're also very experienced in MMO first-person shooters. To date, there have been 2 of those, PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2. This is a third one. We're not calling it that in here. We're calling it this persistent world because we're using the Unreal Engine, and we're not at launch. We're not going for more than 200 players, but we do intend to add to that over time, and so that the world of Merova is going to get bigger and it can handle bigger and bigger crowds. It's a completely and totally open world PvPvE game. And I'm going to talk about what PvPvE means when I go into the world. So you'll notice that the base looks like a kill house map from a Call of Duty or Battlefield. And that's because this particular warehouse, that's the layout of it. A base comes with a layout. It also comes with a theme, which we're going to let players edit and add stuff. Here's what you can't do. You're not moving furniture around. The reason that we didn't want to go that far is that this isn't Rust. And most importantly, what we wanted was to make sure at all times that your base is an actual deathmatch map. And those deathmatch maps can get huge. We have some bases that can allow 100 versus 100 outfit battles. In our world, clans are called outfits. We like the name, and that was one that we used in PlanetSide 2, so it's kind of stuck here. So we do want big battles to happen. We definitely want to let people, the big outfits raid each other's bases, or the small ones, right? Like I said, if you're cruising around, you can actually damage, or you can attract enough heat that other people can follow you in. You can also put your base up to let people raid your base if you want to as well. But what we won't do is make it so that your base can be raided when you're offline. But what's cool is the Reapers that you're not playing as they do turn into AI when you're not there, and you can assign them things, including guarding. So the bases have defensive hardpoints, and each base is unique that way. So one thing I want to get out there right away is what we are selling. Now, why does that matter? Because I think a lot of times people try to dodge, like, hey, what are you selling? Are you guys going to be pay to win? We are absolutely not pay to win. This is a skill-based first-person shooter. If I'm playing Shroud, Shroud is going to kick the shit out of me each and every time. And I'm sorry, he's one of my favorite streamers, so I just use him as an example. But pick any really good player, and they're probably gonna wipe the floor with me. I hold my own, maybe top 10% of games I play, but I've been doing this a little while, and there's a hell of a lot better players than me. So bases have unique aspects to them. For example, how many crafting tables there are, how many defensive hardpoints there are, how many people the base is meant to hold and to defend, how big the vault is. The most important, or one of the most important parts of a base is the location in the world. So when I said we're going to be selling bases and Reapers, what I mean by that is those are sort of the primary vectors we have. So I want to make sure that you understand what we mean when we say we're not a pay-to-win game. There are many different types of bases. If you are the kind of player that does not care about crafting, and I will raise my hand and just straight up tell you I don't give a shit about crafting personally, but a heavy amount of people do. In EVE Online, I like to get into fights, and I would buy ships, not go and build them. That wasn't interesting to me. That's the style of player I am. But crafting is a big part of our game, and we know that some people want to sit there and fiddle with guns. They want to make gear. You'll notice something else. Notice that there's no mini-map. That's because I don't have a satellite transceiver, which gives me a mini-map. Those can be crafted in our game, and there's many different types of them. Our goal there is to make itemization in this game very MMO style, very, very deep. But the moment-to-moment gameplay, anybody who's ever played CoD is going to feel right at home with our game. And I say CoD, that's actually the gunplay target that we were going for. I know different people have opinions on that. Whatever, that's ours. At least want to be straight with you about kind of where we're aiming. So we've got traditional, CoD-style mechanics where you can do slides, you can do dolphin dives, the whole 9 yards. That is something we happen to love it, and more power to the people that make Call of Duty. I think they're amazing, and we have members on our team that have worked on Call of Duty. We have members of our team that have worked on Call of Duty, Warzone, Valorant, Battlefield in many different incarnations, PlanetSide, PlanetSide 2, just about every major shooter or category of shooter, we've had people that have worked on them. But we also have the unique ability to have a bunch of people on our team that have made MMOFPSs before. Those people are rare. And that's because nobody's done what we did with PlanetSide 2. What we're doing here, I want to be clear that this isn't like a spiritual successor to PlanetSide 2. It never was. We did that game and love that game. Still think it's an incredible game. But this game is a modern military shooter, and it's got extraction elements. But more than anything, we wanted to make something completely new that we really wanted to play that feels very modern and our take on where we want to take this genre as a whole. So I'm going to deploy now. Oops, wrong key. Now, when you deploy, you basically get to pick where you're deploying to in a general area. In fact, here, let me go north of Cam. That's King Alarwick Airport here that I'm deploying to. It's this airport area. It's absolutely a massive airport. Our world is big. So the entire world of Merova is 16 kilometers by 12 kilometers. It's about 4 times the size of Al Mazrah in Warzone. So welcome to Merova. Here we are. Let me start with a few sort of very large difference makers. So you notice that the sun's kind of low. In our world, that sun moves around quite a bit. Here it is at noon. We have a full day-night cycle in our game. And when I say full, I'm not screwing around. Like you can actually see, check this out. Here's nighttime. Now there's still lights around, and just now the moon happens to be out, but you will notice that that moon changes phases and it moves through the sky. And sometimes it's a full moon, sometimes it's a half moon, sometimes it's a quarter moon. That is very, very much on purpose. We want nighttime gameplay to be a thing. Now, not everybody loves nighttime gameplay, so here's what we're thinking, and it's going to change over time. And hell, if you love it, if you love the system but want to set your own things, rent a server from us and mod it and make it so it's always daytime or it's always nighttime. Or how about this? We have a full-blown weather system. I'm cheating, by the way, when I'm doing this. Yeah, rain's a thing in our game. So is full weather. We're adding more and more weather types every day. And throughout the day, some days you'll see it's foggy, some days it's not, some days it's stormy, some days it's not. And we're working on a full-blown weather system, which is, the version 1 of that is already in the game, but we're adding more and more to it. You'll notice puddles accumulate on the ground. You'll also notice that when we go into the indoors, I mean, I don't know why this is so exciting. It's how it is in real life, but I don't know. It still excites me because I know the person that added these touches made it so that you literally don't see I'm beneath overhangs here, so of course I don't see it. But you'll notice as soon as I walk out here, it's raining. I don't know why that's so exciting to me, but it is. So the world of Merova is this massive world, and it's got all kinds of AI-powered denizens. I want to explain what I mean by AI. I mean traditional game AI. We just have this cool system called Cerberus that is the orchestrator in the world. Here's how Cerberus works. Cerberus is designed to bring players together in dangerous situations. So check this out. Like I can go into the missions page just to see this happens to be a test server, so you're going to see test missions where we're testing different things. So for example, Hangar Conflict, Kill OS, that's Obsidian Syndicate. These are simple things, right? I just have to go kill 5 Obsidian Syndicates, and we got to stop them from stealing electronic components from the area. So you do that. You're able to see it on the map where you go to, and I happen to know, so I'm not doing all that. And then basically you go out, you do the missions, and some of those missions are things like kill an HVT. Well, if Cerberus spawns a mission for me to, there's a, shit. That is another player. I did not think there were other people on the server. Okay, did not actually know that. Damn it. All right. You may hear me cuss from time to time. My apologies, and welcome to a live game demo. I fell through the world. Lovely. Gotta love it, folks. Live streaming a game is always fun. Luckily, I can cheat. Looks like I got stuck in an area I was not meant to go to, so I may have to go back out. Ah, got lucky. Okay. There are areas that are roped off in the world, and some of them are roped off better than others. And this one isn't. 1 second, I'm going to cheat and go back to the main menu and go back in. This is what happens when you live stream a dev version of a game that is weeks old. So I saw Tetzel asked, how many bases max on a map? We actually don't know. We're not thinking about a max just yet. You know, we want people to be able to have a lot of bases. And by the way, every base can be earned through gameplay, and every Reaper can be earned through gameplay. So if you want to be not spend money beyond, you know, what it costs initially to get into the game, you don't have to. So let me go over to East Cam now. So basically, our goal with this is to build this amazing virtual world. The mission system that's controlled by Cerberus literally is there to bring players directly into conflict with one another. I'll explain the Web3 stuff in just a minute. Let me just explain the base game. I'm very happy to cover it. I'm not like going to run from it or anything, and I promise I'll answer as many questions as I can, no matter, you know, if they're difficult questions or not. So we're still, remember that I logged out into a world that was raining. Well, let me play God here and set it, change it so that the day-night cycle. Notice that there are still puddles here, even when I change the time of day. Those puddles will evaporate over time. We really are focused heavily on the virtual world side of this thing. We really want to make that a cool part. So I'm cheating by advancing time, and we've set schedules up on the server so that it rains at a certain time, only for our own internal test purposes. It's not how the live game is going to be. So as I'm moving around the game world, I'm going to run into NPCs, and the NPCs are all one of 5 factions that we have that control the island. When I say control, they hold their territory. So the NPCs are constantly fighting, and you'll see that. You may see it even in this demo. You may not. I plain don't know. It's all about what Cerberus is doing. Cerberus is designed to do things like this. It'll make an HVT mission for me to go kill an HVT. It'll assign somebody else a mission to defend, another player a mission to go defend that HVT. And it picks these hub areas that we initially were calling fusion points, but we're going to come up with a cooler name. But the idea is that it's going to attract a lot of missions to one area to bring players into conflict. If there are, I don't actually know if we just happen to run into somebody. If there are other players on the server, I do not know. Our company it's to the point where you just run into random people. Right now, I think I'm on the server by myself, unless another one of my comrades in arms here happens to be playing. Whoa, shit. Okay. Oh, that's that guy. All right, let's see what we got. So, oh, all right. All right, this is AI. All right, where is he? Shit. All right, notice that my heat level just increased. Now my heat level it's just like in GTA, you know, I'm not going to say we invented it. It's got to give credit where credit's due there. There's probably other games before it that had that. But my heat level increases by X if I'm shooting NPCs and by Y if I'm shooting players, and Y is obviously greater. So you shoot players and you're going to catch more and more heat. More heat you get when you try to extract back to your base, there's a period of time other players can follow you back in. So if you're in a vehicle, you can literally be car chased back to your base. I mentioned before that location matters in a big way in this game. Well, oh, shit, that guy hasn't noticed me yet, which is unfortunate for him. NPCs are smart. Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ. I still get startled in a big way. Apologies for my poor language. Oh, there is another player. Oh, shit. God damn it. All right. Every now and again, oh, Jesus, there's a lot of AI here. Okay. I just swapped armor. This is a one-plate vest, I think. All right. Yes, I'm running like a biatch. All right. Sometimes these NPCs don't move unless they have a sufficient number of their buddies around. So this version had all kinds of AI bugs, but it's fun to watch them. You'll notice, by the way, that the NPCs talk. That's very deliberate. So we are using technology from a company called 11 Labs. Each faction has kind of its own voices. So I think these are Cockney, I think. Ooh, they may be fighting with each other. When you see NPCs fighting with each other, you'll be able to retcon them to see if they're your buddies or not. Whoa. Shit. Having a good time. But also, shit, I'm out of armor. I do not want another NPC to fight with me right now. God damn it, I'm trying to do a demo. When I go quiet, it means I'm getting serious. Oh. That is another player. Here, I will be nice to them since they are clearly in the company. All right, I'm reviving. You don't see the animation playing on this version yet, but you will. I'll be nice. And they can see my name tag, so they're probably not going to try to shoot me. Oh, but I will steal their loot. And another tactical. I'll just put that in there for now. Already got one. I'm headed over this area because one of the missions I got. Oh. Am I fucking out of ammo? Are you kidding me? Oh, Jesus. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jesus. All right, I'm running again. I get the very strong feeling this is not going to end well for me. This one's out of ammo too. So I mentioned that we're using 11 Labs. Something I'm super proud of. Like, there's a big debate about voice actors being paid. 11 Labs, the ones we're using, the actors that we're using, get paid. They don't get just paid flat fees. They get paid over time. Like, it's an important part of what we are, who we are about. Like, we like the idea of having voices that are simulated because it gives us a really cool opportunity to, oh shit, okay, shit, okay. Hopefully I find another, we can do a lot more with that. We can make cool stuff. Somebody also asked me about what we're doing when I say, that looks like there's a bug, that crate is bugged. There we go. All right, thank God. Now I should be able to actually have some. All right, I've got some ammo again. We are golden. So somebody asked me about, like, when I put up on Steam, I'm the one that put that stuff there, that we have AI NPCs. Here's what we mean by that. So the way our mission system works is we write full stories for the entire game world. And our goal is to change those stories up about every 3 months, so the storyline changes. So, but in between the time, we advance the story through missions. And what we will do is we have an AI that will create mission NPCs. So, for example, it'll create a HVT with a name, right? And the reason that we're doing that is it gets boring just to kill something named HVT. But we're creating these missions so that that all the missions advance the storyline. So we use an LLM to help us create cool sounding missions. And the idea is that they're all fed in after we put in that season's storyline, which is an extensive write-up that we do. So for example, let's say that we are making the storyline that the Obsidian Syndicate is taking over the airport. what that means for players is that unless you have good faction with Obsidian Syndicate, you're quite literally not going to be able to use helicopters unless you gain faction with them. And other players that aren't faction aligned with Obsidian Syndicate won't be able to use helicopters to extract, for example. So, so we're telling this overall storyline. It's very detailed. What we do is we use an LLM to create mission text and mission NPCs that you can go kill. I mean, you're going to kill literally millions of NPCs, hopefully, in your time in the game. And what we're looking for is... All right. Hold on, sorry. God damn it. All right, help our brother out here. He's got a sniper, or she's got a sniper. All right. Yeah, I just did that. So the idea is that we're using them to create, fodder for you. And we're also the flavor of the missions themselves. Like, it's all about doing things for the Obsidian Syndicate or against them. And there's other factions are controlling different parts of the map at the same time. So everything we're doing is themed for that season. And this gives us a chance to keep it interesting, right? So that you're not always killing, Bob the Builder. You're killing new HVTs that have cool backgrounds for you to slaughter. And we're doing that because we really want the world to feel alive. Now, we are handwriting those stories at great length. So and all we're using the LLM for is to create the names and oh shit. Okay. Gage is one of the producers on the game. So what we're trying to do is make the game world feel more believable. Same way we're giving the voice to the NPCs, we're actually figuring out what they say. That's all us, 100% us, because we don't want any surprises coming out of people's mouths. But every single mission that's created for a season gets hand reviewed by an actual person to make sure we don't have any hallucinations about bad stuff. But what it does is it lets us convey the overall storyline. We also, by the way, handwrite a whole bunch of the missions ourselves, some of the key stuff where you get really big loot. But what we want is to make it so that the game feels alive at any given time, and you're not killing, you're not going on the mission to kill a particular NPC and every other player. It starts to feel like, they call those like theme park MMOs. Not really. I've never really been a big fan of those, even though I helped create EverQuest. The types of games I like to make are sandbox games. Ooh, okay, this is what I needed. Let me just get rid of my primary weapon since it's out of ammo, and I need those plates really fucking bad. There we go. And 5.56. Some 9mm. Okay. So just hopefully that clears things up. Now, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about by the way, welcome to game development where grass comes out through cement. So next let me talk to you about how we're integrating Web3 into our game. Oh shit, hold on. Where is that guy? Come on. Man, he cracked my plate very quick. Okay, so let's talk about Web3. So I happen to be playing on Steam. There is absolutely zero crypto, no access to it whatsoever, nothing on Steam. The same is true on the Epic version of the game. Those won't be out until early next year. We will be putting out a Foundation Alpha in a month or so that actually will have that on Epic and on our website. The crypto aspects to the game can only ever be played from the version you can download from our website. Now, what are those crypto elements? First and foremost, we are letting players buy and sell things they acquire in game that are rare or above. And those things, so like for example, if let's just say I acquired a gun skin and I had applied it to this particular gun, I could sell this gun and therefore the skin on it, and somebody else could take that skin and put it on something else. We are not selling, we're letting players sell anything that is power. Just really, really important for people to realize that. Now, why include it at all? Well, we have really big plans for this game. So we see the game as a very large virtual world platform. We are going to let players with both crypto and on Steam without it, we're going to let them rent servers from us. We're going to let our players mod those servers. We'll provide them a bunch of mods they can just hand select and run live, or they can just make them themselves. But we're also going to be letting our players run their own community servers, monetize them if they want to. That is a very, very big deal from our perspective. And all we want is to let this ecosystem grow outside of our game, just like you see in like for example, Counter-Strike 2, you see all kinds of stuff for sale on Steam Community Market and outside of it. All we're doing is we're letting that happen, and it can be for real money if you want to play it on our the version downloadable from our site. Now, let's talk about interaction between them. All the players will be on one server, but the players on Steam can't trade stuff. There's no secret backdoor way to get stuff across. We're not going to play those games. This is simply, we want to let players buy and sell stuff. They can also create the same things. They can make gun skins. We want them to also be able to make Reaper skins. We want them to be able to create these mods and let them charge whatever they want to within reason, of course. You know, like I don't know if we'll set limits. We haven't given that a lot of thought. Oop, here's a. Ooh, there's a stack of them. That is what we call a bug. Infinite stack, it looks like to me. So it's really as simple as that. And if you want to go play on our regular servers, you can't move your character over. You can't. There's no getting around that, right? That's not something we're going to relax later on down the line. Like Steam is very hardcore about it. So it's like it's very simple. I liken it very much to the Steam Community Market, except instead of having to go to an external site to buy and sell stuff like you do on Counter-Strike 2 items, that's a $4 billion with a B dollar industry. If you just look at all the sites that are selling stuff outside of Steam and other places like it, it's huge. So our feeling is that if we're not going to let anybody sell stuff that gives another player power, and people want to do that for money, peace. If they get something that is super rare and they want to sell it, cool. If you go on right now onto a bunch of different marketplace sites that are selling Counter-Strike 2 knives, for example, there are some that are at $24,000. There's one recently that sold for over $1 million. That stuff is real. Now, like that same knife though, is just as powerful in game as a regular knife in Counter-Strike 2. It's no different in our game. We are not trying to sell power. We simply believe that you should be able to own what you acquire if that's how you want to play. Entirely optional. So yeah, we're going to make sure that there's limits on who can make stuff. You can't just make a fresh account and immediately start trading. All the same type of things that you see on Steam Community Market and limits like that. Well, of course, we'll be restricting all that. But either way, I realized there was a big hullabaloo about like, hey, well, my God, you guys have this crypto element in your game. Well, guess what? If you don't want to see it, just don't. Just play on Steam. You're done. Full stop. Nothing to talk about. In my personal opinion, is that these things that it adds to the game overall are going to be amazing. So, for example, we will let players play on modded servers, if that's what they want to play on. Anything that's not a vanilla server that we run, if players want to like charge for stuff on those servers or just run it for free or run for donations, great. That's awesome. We'll let them do that stuff. But we're not ever going to allow players that are playing on any of our vanilla servers whatsoever. You can't go trade stuff on community servers and get around stuff. There's just no getting around it, full stop. Okay? Tactical sprint. Somebody wants to see that. Okay. There you go. There's tactical sprint. Like there's all kinds of animations we're still adding to the game. So we're like we did a mocap shoot. A lot of that stuff's going in. So you know, from my perspective, I never seen like we aren't an on-chain game. We aren't the play to earn game. I fucking hate that moniker with a passion. I can't stand it. No, we have dolphin dives in. I'm not the best at it, but I'll do my best. So like, yeah, I should mention it's like we do have prone. And no, you're not gonna be able to turn the settings down just to see everybody naked on the grass. So from my perspective, making it optional is a mic drop and should just be the end of the subject. Will there be people still complaining about it? Of course there will. Why? Yeah, there's crypto scammy games out there. We're just not that game. Don't judge us because some other idiots made something that where a lot of people ended up getting scammed out of something. We're not that company, first of all, and we're not that game. We just don't, that's not who we are. Somebody asked why we even added it in the first place. So let me just tell you that story. This is simple. When I went out to raise money for this company, when I went out and talked to traditional investors, they were like, you're crazy. This game is too ambitious. You're not going to be able to pull it off. I'm like, okay, we had all kinds of experience, but nonetheless, I understood. And then we approached Bitcraft, and the partner over there, a guy named Carlos Pereira, huge gamer. He saw the potential, and he talked to me about, hey, you ever think about adding this stuff? It could be optional. And what ended up happening is we ended up raising money, and every single investor that we raised money from, without exception, heard the exact pitch you are hearing now, which is, it will be entirely optional game. I will not make the game if it's not. It's as simple as that. Every one of them bought off on it. They're not secretly hoping that we're going to turn this into a crypto smorgasbord extravaganza kind of game. They get it. Why? Carlos plays Warzone. He's way better than I am, as a matter of fact. And on almost every single investor we have has hardcore gamers there. You may not believe that, but it's really true. In fact, there's some Discord servers that I play on with these guys. They're hardcore. We're partnered with this awesome company, Tezos, and their chain Etherlink, which is this level 2 roll-up, which look it up if you want to understand what that means. The gaming team that's over there, the 3 top guys each have over 10,000 hours in Counter-Strike. I'm not making this up. This is like these are our people. In fact, when we signed them on to invest with us and cut the deal so that the game, the Web3 portion would operate on their chain, they agreed with us totally that most Web3 games out there are bad. Now there are some good ones. There's a great game called Active Bounty, by the way. That means that another player got too much heat, and then I can go chase that bounty if I wanted to. Hold on one second. Don't worry, I'm going to continue. I just want to see if that. There we go. Let me accept it. You'll notice, by the way, as soon as I accept that mission, that means that look up on my compass. You can see that he's vaguely this way. I'm gonna just keep talking. I just wanted to show you that. So there is, from my perspective, this game would not exist but for the investors that we have that are crypto investors, and they all signed on for exactly what we're making. So that's as plain as I can tell you about how we feel about crypto, which is great. I feel awesome about it because the game wouldn't exist without it. And I also believe that the ecosystem that's going to grow around this game in both on the crypto side and the non-crypto side is going to be huge because players are going to make it awesome. They're going to take what we're building and they're going to make it way cooler. So there's no, if you as players want to go out there, make a battle royale out of this game, use our game world, just add parachutes and a plane. We're not adding that, but we want players to. There's an example I like to give a lot. I'm a huge Die Hard fan. So let's say December 1st rolls around in our downtown area, which I'm going to show in a different stream. It is actually there right now. But let's say there's been a construction site for about the last 3 months around this huge building that's going up. December 1st rolls around. It's Christmas time officially. Actually, if you ask me, Christmas time starts around November 1, but whatever. And now all of a sudden, Rakatomi Plaza is there in all its glory. You go in the doors, you go into an instance of this skyscraper where you're on a team with your fellow players and you're fighting against the terrorists trying to save hostages. Somebody can make mini games inside of our world. They can take our entire world if they want to, and they can actually take the world and do whatever they want with it within reason. We're going to have some rules. No dicks, no swastikas, no homophobic stuff, no racist shit. That's like these are the obvious things from my point of view. Every single thing that gets made by players and put into our game, even on a community server, without exception, will have human eyes on it. Funny story, in another game I made, we had similar features in, and we had this group of people that submitted things 1 week after the next. They made a cool shirt, big F on it. Week later, another player submitted a U. Another player a week later submitted a C, and then they wanted to take a screenshot together. We caught on, but you get the point. Players are clever. There's also a lot of cool Gen AI stuff out there, and we realize that that's going to empower a lot of creators, and we're okay with that as long as there's no IP theft and nobody's trying to put stuff in our game that is stolen from other people. I realize the debate about Gen AI, is it using other art? Well, let me tell you how we use it and the tools we're going to extend to people. It's trained on our artists only. So there's ways of doing this stuff ethically. We care about that. I'm a personal believer that AI is going to change our industry. It makes it possible for smaller companies like us to compete. There's also a good-sized faction in our industry, particularly in the art side, that's like, hey, it's a bunch of theft. It is if you don't use the right tools. You're starting to see stuff from Adobe and from other companies that are artistic tools that, for example, if we have an artist that makes 10 different types of a M4, it can make another 20 beyond that and make cool looking stuff based on that artist style and based only on that artist style. The tools exist to do this right and to do this ethically, and we're committed to using those tools and those tools only. So don't judge, don't assume, just judge us by what we actually put out, the tools that you see, and we'll stand by those things. I will answer a few more questions, but I do have to get going to another meeting, and then I've been here since very early, and I'm gonna go home and play some Star Citizen probably. Anyways, can I answer any additional questions? We should set limits and requirements or scams are going to happen. Yes, we agree with that. Crypto is a one-way system for payments. Well, that's not actually true, but what I will say is that it is that there are a lot of scam artists out there. We choose to, it's all about, lying down with dogs, you get fleas. We are choosing to work with a really reputable company. I can't say enough good things about the Tezos Foundation and their chain Etherlink, which is what we're going to be on. I know the human beings behind it. I know them to be good people, and I know them to be hardcore gamers who don't want scammy shit any more than we do. By the way, somebody asked us earlier if we're going to have a token. We will. Why are we going to have a token? Why do we need a token in our game? It is not a get-rich-quick scheme for the team, in case you think, or myself. It doesn't work that way. You know, our stuff will vest over a very long time, and it's all about the success of the game. What we really care about is making something awesome, and something that lasts for a long time. PlanetSide 2 is still out after a long time. EverQuest is still out after a long time. We make games that last, and we make games that are future-looking. So what the token is going to be used for is for the ecosystem around it. We want our players to be able to make cool mods and to do cool stuff. And by the way, the same thing can be done on Steam Community Market, and we're going to let the players decide if and when they ever want to interact with crypto. But it gives a bigger, broader set of tools for us to use to reward people for making cool stuff and for them to sell to one another if that's what they want. So that's the reason. Listen, I want to thank everybody for watching this. And please, you know, you could do us a really big favor. We are trying to drive a community on our Discord. And please also, if you could just do me a favor and just retweet this or re-exit, whatever the hell they call it now. Really wish we could get a name from Elon that for what tweeting is now. I don't know. But if you could just do us a favor and spread the word, it would mean a lot. This is our team at Fusion Point Studios, which is now called Distinct Possibility Studios. We used to be FPS. But at DPS, our team is only about 40 people, and we have an awesome co-development studio down in Brazil with Big Moxie Games, a tremendously talented group of people down there that have done some amazing work. In fact, the artwork you're seeing in this game is a collaboration between our team and theirs, and a whole bunch of other really talented people at other companies like Secret Dimension and a whole bunch of people. And, you know, any word that you can spread about this game, I would personally, and my members of our team would greatly appreciate it in a big way. It would help us spread the word, because ultimately we're making this for you. But, you know, we need to make a living too, so appreciate it. Thank you all, and we will, you're going to get a more professional streamer soon. Jimmy Wizenhunt is on our team. He is an amazing streamer himself. And we'll have some announcements in the fairly near future about partnerships that we're making with both streamers and content creators. In about a month, we're going to have what we call our Foundation Alpha version of our game, which will be basically a very early access, not early access, even earlier than that, for a ground level community that we want to build. We'll be having that on Epic and on our own website if you're okay with crypto. By the way, if you get it on our website, you don't have to interact with crypto there either. It's still completely optional, even within it. Zero, it's optional 100%. You don't even ever have to click the marketplace button there, which takes you to an external website, by the way. And so anyways, thank you all. Really super excited to put this out in front of you, and I hope you don't mind my shitty play and I'm not a great streamer, never have been, but there it is. The real scoop, and I hope you all have a great evening. Take care of yourselves.